A handcuffed Nicolás Maduro en route from a Brooklyn prison to a federal courthouse in Manhattan. The deposed Venezuelan leader facing charges including narco-terrorism and cocaine importation conspiracy. Appearing alongside his wife and co-accused, Celia Flores. Ms. Flores wearing bandages on her face for injuries her lawyer says were caused during her capture by the United States. The pair pleading not guilty to all offences. "I am innocent," Mr. Maduro told the court. "I am a decent man. I am still president of my country."
As both defendants stood to leave the courtroom, a Venezuelan man in the public gallery shouted at Mr. Maduro in Spanish that he would pay for his crimes. Mr. Maduro turned to the man, gave him a thumbs up and said in Spanish, "I am a kidnapped president. I am a prisoner of war."
The man who confronted him says he was imprisoned by the Maduro regime.
He looked right at me. I am not afraid. In the name of the 40 million Venezuelans who are happy today because of the detention of Nicolás Maduro.
Also outside court, dueling protesters.
No more coups, no more wars.
Split over Donald Trump's intervention.
Something had to get done. Something had to get done in order for our country to be free.
Regardless of what you think of Maduro, America has no jurisdiction to walk into another country, bomb Caracas, and abduct a leader.
Mr. Maduro's lawyers are expected to contest the legality of his arrest, the start of a potentially lengthy legal battle, thousands of kilometres from the country he once led. Rachel Clayton, ABC News, New York City.
A show of order for a country plunged into uncertainty.
Delcy Eloína Rodríguez Gómez.
Delcy Rodriguez takes an oath to lead Venezuela as interim president, sworn in by her brother, pledging devotion to captured leader Nicolás Maduro and his wife.
I come with pain, but I must say that I also come with honour, to swear on behalf of all Venezuelans.
The ousted president's only son also had a message of defiance for the US, calling on citizens to push back.
We must make a decision, raise our voices for peace, for respect for international law, for sovereignty, for our right to exist.
72 hours on from the shock US raid on Caracas, questions over the legality of the operation persist. The US defending it during an emergency meeting of the United Nations.
There is no war against Venezuela or its people. We are not occupying a country. This was a law enforcement operation.
But according to the man who ordered the raid, the US is in charge, telling NBC in a phone interview that his deputy, J.D. Vance, will be among Venezuela's new leaders.
I then asked him who will be the top person if there is one. The president's answer to that question was me.
In neighbouring Colombia, there are nerves there next, following Donald Trump's comment that a military operation here sounded good. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has hit back, denying involvement in the cocaine trade, saying his people would take up arms and fight back.
Colombia is deploying its troops to the border amid concerns of a flood of Venezuelan refugees. One man who was travelling here when the US operation began is worried about returning home.
Venezuelans live in fear of writing a tweet or posting a video on Instagram or making a comment in the street. I'm a little scared. Let's hope that through the situation they will start offering us real guarantees and that we're in a real transition to democracy.
Hopes for something good to emerge from the unknown. Cayman Gok, ABC News, Bogota.
Denmark's Prime Minister says a US takeover of Greenland would mean the end of NATO. President Donald Trump has again threatened to annex the mostly self-governed Danish island, which is a key site for the American ballistic missile defence system and has significant untapped mineral wealth. Danish PM Mette Frederiksen says if one NATO member attacks another, there is no alliance. But a senior White House aide says US control would strengthen the bloc.
The American president should be taken seriously when he says that he wants Greenland. But I also want to make it clear that if the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops.
There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland.
European leaders have also rallied around Greenland, and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has given a definitive rebuke. Let's bring in Europe correspondent Kathryn Diss. And Kathryn, how seriously are the EU and the UK taking these threats over Greenland?
Good evening, Lydia. Look, they're taking them very seriously. Donald Trump's suggested takeover of Greenland in the past has long been considered an unrealistic prospect, but given his actions in Venezuela, there are renewed fears across Europe of what he's looking to take next. Now, these are very different targets, though. Greenland is a member of NATO, so annexing that territory would effectively collapse the entire concept of the military alliance of which America is a signatory to. Here in the UK, Britain's Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has joined with Europe in rebuking Donald Trump's latest comments on Greenland, but he stopped short of criticising the legality of his actions in Venezuela. He, like many European leaders, are walking a very precarious diplomatic tightrope here ahead of more Ukraine peace talks in Paris today, fully understanding just how important America is in ending that conflict.
Europe correspondent Kathryn Diss reporting there. Thank you. And just days after Donald Trump repeated his threat to intervene in Iran, the death toll from a crackdown on anti-government protests there has risen to 35. The wave of unrest has continued into a 9th day with no signs of stopping. Human rights activists say the protests have spread to more than 250 locations nationwide, and that more than 1,200 people have been detained. The growing death toll carries the chance of American intervention. After his Maduro raid, US President Trump was photographed with a Make Iran Great Again hat. He warned Iran last week that the US could send forces into Tehran if protesters continue to be killed.